Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for all the kind words, everyone. I really appreciate all the kind messages you guys are leaving. Super helpful to keep me at least motivated to making posts like this. Today I wanted to talk about growth and where my practice is headed going forward. I know I've touched on this a couple of times before with a couple of videos, and that's great. But what I really wanted to hone in today is that now that my business partner's back, now that we are hiring back up because we had 2 PAs that have left us abruptly, one went to surgery, from primary care to surgery, and then the other one left us for an acute illness. You can watch one of the previous videos that I'll link below about that, which sucks for both of us. I mean, I feel bad for her that she's sick, but also left us hanging as she gave us literally like a 1-day notice that she was quitting. So where the hell is this business going forward? The underlying problem, like I've said in other videos, is that when you start a business, you need to define what's your long-term goal for that business. Like I've said before, my goal is to grow this as big as I can. That growth is going to take multiple steps. The first step, of course, is creating a plan, finding a place, actually opening doors. Then kind of that phase 2, if you will, is going to be just like building the base, the foundation. It's going to be improving policies. It's going to be how do you deal with difficult patients? How do you fire patients? How do you deal with paying quarterly taxes, franchise tax if necessary? A lot of the minutia of what it is to run a business that you need to like get kinks out, right? So a big part of that was we used to use this EMR called Practice Fusion. And Practice Fusion, wonderful EMR for small practices. It was a pain in the butt to run a larger organization, multi-site clinic. It was just a pain in the butt to run it with Practice Fusion. There were so many things that didn't work well that medical record did not set us up for growth. So we had to transfer our medical record over from Practice Fusion to now Advanced MD, which I have a love-hate relationship as I've made in another video. So stage 2 has really been foundation. And I lucked out in the foundation in that I had a business partner that I brought on. And we'll go back to a little history of the business. I did everything that my lawyer told me we shouldn't do. We actually had no signed formal contract until they bought into the business. So for 2.5 years or so, we didn't even have a working agreement at all signed on paper. I wasn't worried about it because I trained with this lady, and to put how much she was devoted to the process, she actually sold her house in another city, moved down here after just one meeting together, and was just all in. I mean, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., she was working as hard or harder than I've been working in the practice. I've always been a man of my word. She's always been, I guess, a woman of her word. And luckily it worked out for us, but I definitely would not advise it for anyone as they grow to not have a contract like we did. So phase 2, I'll lump it into the summation of, it's basically foundation phase. Phase 3 is growth for us. And that growth has been hiring new PAs, physician assistants. Now we've opened one other clinic. I'm actually in it right now. And this clinic, the second location, has just gone above and beyond my expectations. The way that we break our new employees in, whether it be PA, MD, DO, whatever, we do 1 patient per hour for the first week. And this guy did so wonderful this first week that instead of seeing 40 patients, he kept saying, give me more, and he saw 54 patients the first week. That's in a new location with a little bit of advertising that we just basically started from scratch, 54 patients the first week. Now the second week's a little bit skewed because that was only a 4-day work week because we closed the day of the eclipse, which went through our city. So I figured, why not? It's once in a lifetime for most people. We'll just close and watch the eclipse. But in that 4-day work week, he saw 52 people. That's incredible for week number 2. As we are in growth phase, I'm kind of now reaching a point where I need to kind of hypercharge the growth. And to do that, I need to take a step back from seeing patients 5 days a week. I already have it set up so that 2 half-days a week I have admin time. But inevitably, that admin time gets eaten up by, oh my gosh, so-and-so patient just got discharged from a month-long hospital. They really need to get in. We have no providers for them to see, no doctors or PAs. Can they get in to see you? And of course I cave and I say, sure, I'll see them. I want them to do well, and I don't mind fitting them in. That doesn't fill up my entire admin time, but I don't have the admin time to grow and really hypercharge the growth because I really only spend maybe about 4 hours of my 8 hour of admin time is actually spent on growth and management and other things of the practice. So where I'm going in the future is I'm going to be working a 3.5-day work week going forward. And that isn't going to start till probably June or July because my schedule's all the way booked out through April, which is the time of this video, May, and June. So whenever that booking's all in, I'm going to a 3.5-day work week. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're hiring that other physician for another office location. This will be our third office. And I've started the hunt for office number 4 to see where we're going to put this office. Now, I already kind of know where I think we're going to put it, but because these last 2 took a while to open, I'm starting the hunt now, assuming it's going to take probably a year and a half before we can go from starting to opening doors, or starting the hunt, I should say, to opening those doors. And the other reason I'm honestly making this change is that I kind of want to spend more time with my family. I have 2 kids, I have a wife, I do enjoy spending time and seeing them. I enjoy doing these vlogs. I enjoy consulting with a lot of you guys, but as some of y'all may know, I've kind of cut back on the consulting hours because there's just not enough time in the day to do everything that I need to do. So for that reason, it's time to delegate out. It's time to cut back at the main office work, time to be more of an administrative role and actually focus on growth of the practice. My goal is to add 1 to 2 new locations per year. It's been wonderful to see the growth so far. We hired a new PA for our main office location, and her very first week, she booked out completely. Again, 1 patient per hour. But to tell you what the demand is like in our area, at the time of making this, she's only been working 4 days in our clinic, and her entire next 2 weeks, I believe, are pretty much completely booked. There might be like 2 or 3 openings for the next 2 weeks, but they're completely full already. That's at 1 patient per hour. But still, that's the kind of demand that we have, and I'm just going to keep pushing on the gas pedal for growth. And at that expense is my own salary. So basically, I haven't taken a salary lately because of the Change Healthcare. I probably won't take a salary throughout the next 3 to 6 months as I continue on growth. And what I mean by salary is that monthly salary. When the profits come in, I'll probably take a distribution from that. And at the very end of the year, whatever's left over, I'll probably take as a salary, not to piss off the IRS in terms of paying taxes. But it goes with the flow. If you want to grow the business, you can either hypercharge it with money and time, or you can do it very slowly. And I'm kind of moving into hyper growth mode, or at least we're going to try. Now, the next video I want to talk about is competition, because there's another primary care group in town that has raised about $125 or $128 million to open. And in the last couple of months, they've opened 6 to 8 locations from scratch. And they basically hired up, I think something like 45 providers, like at least like 28 of those are physicians. Wild to see. Their burn rate must be atrocious. But it'll be wonderful to see how they do with that kind of income. But I can't imagine how they're going to sell it for a multiple at 6 locations worth $125 million. My God, that's over 10, 15 million a location. Jesus, that's going to be really rough. Best of luck to them. I'll dive into that on the next video. But this video, I really just wanted to give an update about how the practice is going. For future videos, I may end up talking more about healthcare and the business of healthcare in general. If you guys have any suggestions on what y'all want to hear, feel free to leave a comment below. Always happy to entertain those. I'll see y'all guys next time. Peace.